Thank you all. Please be seated. Mr. Prime Minister, as I said on the South Lawn, we are delighted to have you here in Washington. I thank you for the question on a court ruling that literally came out in the midst of my meeting with the Prime Minister. And so I haven't had a chance to fully review the findings of the Supreme Court. I want to assure you that we take them very seriously. To the extent that there is latitude to work with the Congress to determine whether or not the military tribunals will be an avenue in which to give people their day in court, we will do so. The American people need to know that this ruling, as I understand it, won't cause killers to be put out on the street. In other words, there's not a, as I was a drive-by briefing on the way here, I was told that this was not going to be the case. At any rate, we will seriously look at the findings, obviously.
It's really a kick in the teeth to the Cheney-Bush administration because it was their attempt by establishing these military conventions to do several things. To circumvent the basic protections of the Bill of Rights, as well as to withdraw America from the international consensus that was achieved with the Geneva Conventions and other international treaties. This case says these men cannot do that. We are a country that is ruled by law, not by men.
I think it means in the short run that the 10 detainees who have been charged and brought before military tribunals are going to see their proceedings come to a halt. I think in a broader sense is a further indication that the entire Guantanamo enterprise is misguided, has represented an abuse of power, and that it is now time to close Guantanamo down.
Well, the military commissions, and I think this is what the court recognized, were essentially a fake court. They didn't comply with the most fundamental tenets we have, which are checks and balances. Congress sets up, so Congress is supposed to set up courts and fair procedures. These couldn't even comply, as the court said, with the most minimal requirements under international law. And so I do think that this is a rebuke, but I would caution those who say that this is kind of President Bush lost today. President Bush didn't lose today. America and our founders won today by adhering to our most fundamental values as a people.
You're not looking here. Larry, we need you.
And the decision today is a travesty in terms of the way that the court has decided to establish itself as a super military authority and to second guess the views not only of the executive branch but also of Congress.
All right. The president is accused of violating the separation of powers in a host of areas. He's even accused in one case of committing something to be a federal crime in the NSA domestic surveillance program. So this is occurring in the middle of this constitutional crisis, and it's something of a pushback by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is telling the president, you're not a government unto yourself. You're not an absolute ruler.